I like watching movies, and I like watching movies that go in series, like Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Star Trek. You know, they're a series, and they have an epic storyline. And it's interesting when you go from one movie to another. And generally, what happens in a movie is there's a love interest, and it's exciting, and everybody's all aflutter, and they kiss at the end, and they didn't get along, but they saved each other's lives, and now they're going to go off into the sunset, and their lives will be glorious, and it's beautiful, and the movie ends, and and you just got all these warm fuzzy feelings, and then the sequel happens. And then what happens is she's in a board meeting, and she's talking to her husband on the phone, and she's dying and chatting and whatever. And then it goes to her husband, and it's a different guy. And you're like, what happened? And then you find that guy comes, and he's out in the woods building a house or something. And it's like, I thought they were going to last forever. It was beautiful. And it didn't. And it's like, they had such great chemistry. But one of the things that you saw throughout the movie is they had no compatibility. I mean, he saw things one way, she saw things another, and the chemistry happened because there was a moment that solidified something that was beyond or outside the normal aspect of life. I mean, you were fighting dinosaurs. I mean, that's not normal. And nothing connects until they have that moment. But that moment can only exist in the vacuum of the situation that created it. That's the thing about chemistry. As soon as you add new chemicals or put it in a new environment, the chemistry changes. But then you see these movies or these TV shows where you've got these people that don't seem to have chemistry at all, and you're wondering, how do they work? They might not have the same sort of butterfly chemistry, but they have compatibility. They have the same goals, they have the same purpose, they have the same desires, they have the same priorities. They have all the fundamental things that are the same, and they can constantly meet on those levels. And there's this beauty about it that says, you guys just fit. You're 6'8", you're 4'2", but somehow you fit. Why? Because there's compatibility. The scripture says, do not become unequally yoked with unbelievers. And sometimes we wonder, why is God so adamant about that? Because we can have great chemistry, and on so many levels we can connect and whatever. But if our foundational aspects of who we are is based on Jesus Christ, and we can't share that with the person that we are married to, or the person that we're in business with, or the person that we are tied to at the hip for whatever reason, at some level it's going to break down. And God says, I don't want you to go through that pain. I don't want you to go through that hardship. Sometimes it's easy to miss because we say all the right words and we do all the right things, and then we realize that as life goes on, the foundation wasn't there. That's why we got to take our time. That's why we've got to pray. That's why we have to be willing to sacrifice our feelings for our faith. We need to be able to say, God, you show me, give me a peace. And this is what God says. He says, he said, my ways are not your ways, neither are my thoughts your thoughts. For the heavens are above the earth, so my ways are above your ways, and my thoughts are above your thoughts. And that leaves us to a place of, well, if God's got a plan for our life, and his ways and thoughts are so far above us, how will we ever know? But God says, I've got this supernatural mystic thing that I've created for you, and it's called peace. And he said, peace, Jesus said, the peace I give you, not as the world gives. It's going to be different. It's a peace that passes all understanding. It's when the chemistry is kind of wonky, but the compatibility is there. And God says, you know what? I'm going to give you a peace about it. And he does that. I can attest to my life where I have not waited for God, and I've got ahead of God and not taken the time to pray, not taken the time to see if the compatibility was there. And there's a due course of that. There's the consequences of not listening, of not being patient, of not waiting for God. That's in every aspect of our life, but in the relationships that we deal with every day, in the relationships that we make commitments to every day, we need to make sure that the relationships that we're building share the same foundation and they're compatible. God bless you.